Hi everybody, it's Kendrick from Providence Tarot. I just want to start off by saying, please pardon me for being so late with the weeklies. But, November was pretty hectic, December was pretty hectic. After I got back from the holidays, I moved. And so now I'm just sort of getting settled, right? New ideas, new perspective, changes, right? Your thought process changing, maybe your truth changing, or maybe some of you had a new beginning from something that was cut or ended, right? Because the Ace of Swords is sort of like the next phase from the 10, right? The 10 reduces to this ace. So this is saying, like, how are you using this new beginning as a tool to kind of like, really exercise, this new start, right? Exercise your understanding of what this new start holds, right? What's the inspiration, right? Where are you going with this? What's the new idea? Being fresh, okay? It's kind of like, from whatever ended, something new sort of like sprouted, right? It's like a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? It's kind of like if you were experiencing some sort of, angst or anxiety, right? Psychological depression, you're coming out of it, right? You're choosing to rise above the heaviness that might have been controlling you in the past. You know what I mean? It might have had a little bit of an intimidation factor. You're saying, no, I'm not intimidated by this. I'm not intimidated by this new beginning. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to take my position. I'm going to know what my position is. And I'm going to move forward from the position that I stand in, right? This is very much like an Aries energy or like Capricorn energy, this ace, right? Yes, so definitely new beginnings are underway. They've already started, and it's kind of like giving you an opportunity to have a new phase, a new chapter for you, and that's really great for all of us. Aries, your card for the third week of January 2020 is the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man, this is a 3, so it refers back to the Empress, which is talking about waiting, right, for something more pleasurable to come around, something more ideal. This is Neptune, and Neptune is the higher octane of Venus, which is talking about a higher octane of beauty, right? Acceptance as well. So this is saying that some of you people out there are accepting things right now for what they are, because this is momentarily, right? Temporary. Whatever you feel like you might be going through, or something that you might be feeling like stuck on, right? You might even be feeling lost in some kind of way in terms of like what to make of something. So you're kind of like stepping back from whatever that thing is, Aries, and you're giving yourself a moment to process, to digest. And you might even just be needing to take a little bit of a break, right? Because the Hangman is Neptune and it is Pisces, and it's saying that there might be a lot of things going on right now, and so that you are less affected. You are allowing yourself to kind of just like be in your own space, in your own environment that no one else is going to actually sort of get into, interfere with, or sort of change anything about, right? It's like almost your mind is fixed, but you're willing to change it, but you're willing to change it when the time is right. So it's almost kind of like you're not even moving forward with something yet. Neptune, Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So instead of moving forward and experiencing the growth here, you're kind of feeling very stagnant, right? There's still something to be revealed, okay, Aries? And I feel like, you know that. So you're not going to make the sacrifice yet, and you're not going to submit to something. I feel like you're trying to reach some level of spiritual advice or enlightenment before you determine what it is. Taurus, your card for the third week of January is the Hierophant. This is your card, Taurus. This is really amazing, right? So the Hierophant is talking about, your belief systems and what you stand firm in, you know what I mean? What you're not changing about your reality, right? But then it also challenges you to question your reality and see what it is about that reality that might be, adjusted based on what your new beliefs might be. This is also talking about creativity, so it's not getting stuck in one place. Creativity is definitely talking about being able to do many different things, right? Being able to, even within your limitations, right? Because the Hierophant is talking about your limitations, things that are sort of like fixed in your life, right? And also the Hierophant is kind of like not opening yourself up to certain things that actually might enrich you. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what you get used to, right? It's kind of like what you allow yourself to just kind of like get familiarized with, you know? So this is saying like if you're feeling challenged by something that is familiar to you, then maybe it's time to look at how that thing can change, or it can be renewed, or it could mean something different for you, right? Because the Hierophant is talking about meaning behind things, the meaning behind the conflict and the difficulties that we might experience within our pleasurable life, you know. It's kind of like there are always going to be things that come in and shake things up for you. You know, you just have to remember who you are and where you are, you know, how far you've come, you know, the things that you've sort of like been able to cope with, right? Things that you've made it through, all of that. You know, you are unlimited, and I just need you to remember that, right? Just like the moon is exalted in Taurus, the moon is unlimited as well because it goes through all those signs so quickly. Thank you, Taurus. Gemini, your card for the third week of January 2020 is the King of Rods. Okay, so this is fixed fire energy. So this could be you determined, right? You could be determined. This could be a person that you might be involved with, a very fiery person, someone who might, you know, be very passionate, right, about themselves and about the other people that they sort of like surround themselves with, you know. You are also, you know, kind of trying to, your perspective is like matured and sort of like change, you know, resolute. I feel like you're coming up with some sort of like resolution, right? Or there needs to be a resolution in some sort of way, and then somebody has a responsibility to see to it that this resolution is met with, right? Or is comes in, right? This resolution manifests, right? It's talking about bringing a sense of balance, right? There's new growth that comes from this new place that you find yourself in, right? You understand that you are sort of like the narrator, right? You're the narrator, you're the moderator, right? You're all things, right? And this is a very fiery energy. So this is saying that, you know, the responsibility that you have, or the obligation that you have to see to it that, you know, something is carried through or something is understood, because we're talking about perspective and knowing, right? So it's kind of like knowing what to do, knowing how to act, you know what I mean? And this might require, Gemini, you sort of like not being as go lightly as you always are, you know, or as you're rumored to be, right? This is very definitive. Okay, this is very assertive. All right, and this is kind of like doing something that you feel like you may not want to do, but you have to do. Okay, Gemini, thank you guys so much, and Happy New Year. If you'd like to book a reading, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Cancer, this is your card for the third week of January 2020. Oh, Cancer, you got the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so this is Sun in Virgo. Okay, and the Sun is talking about creativity, it's talking about power, and it's talking about, you know, regenerative energies, right? It's talking about what you can make, what you can do. This Eight of Pentacles is talking about the power to achieve things, right? That to mint things, to make things possible. Okay, and being that it's Virgo energy, it is definitely talking about, you know, identifying with the strengths that you have. What are your strengths, right? How can you provide and how can you offer up parts of yourself, right? The eighth house, shared resources that are actually going to help strengthen your reality, right? Bring about things in your space that are, you know, worthwhile and that are meaningful. The eights are talking about deep concentration as well. So you could be concentrating deeply on something that you have to build, or you have to fix, or you have to achieve. It's a process. It might be slow. There might be times where there are highs and lows and there are difficulties. But this is a very powerful card of creation. Knowing what you're capable of, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, and capitalizing on your strengths, right? And learning from your weaknesses. You know, and there might be things that you sort of like can't change, right? You know, It's just a time to get through this. Whatever it is that you're working on, you can push through it, Cancer. You can do it. Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you'd like a reading with me. Leo, these are your messages for the third week of January 2020. Oh, Leo, you got the Three of Swords. This is Saturn in Libra, and Saturn is exalted in Libra, right? Saturn teaches us the responsibilities and relationships that we need to learn as we grow. Okay? So this is kind of like a new understanding, right? A lesson learned, right? Sorry I say right so much. And also, this could be heartbreak, right? There's some karma here that you might be dealing with in terms of a relationship, right? Also, this is also talking about how relationships restrict us, right? They stop us. If these three swords, right, were out of this card, they would have so much more multiplicity, right? You are unlimited. It's saying, your relationships limit you sometimes, right? They keep you stuck in one place. And this is saying don't be stuck in that place in your mind over this, right? Because the threes are, there's something that can come out of this that's beautiful. It doesn't have to be dark and grim, right? Because look behind the heart, right? If you can get past this, then you'll be able to see the light, right? You'll be able to feel the warmth again, right? You'll feel less stagnant or stuck, right? This is saying that you need to give a moment to let your heart breathe, okay? Also, use your creativity to help pull you out of this, right? Whatever this thing is. It could even be something that didn't happen recently. It could be something that happened like a while ago, because we're talking about Saturn. This is time. You know what I mean? And we're talking about the current moment, the present moment. You're still stuck in the past. Okay, Leo? Email providencetarotkendrick if you'd like a reading with me. So providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Virgo, your card for the third week of January 2020 is the Ace of Pentacles, Virgo. That's amazing. This is a new opportunity that comes from something that you've been working on, right? It's almost kind of like you've earned this, okay? This could be a raise, this could be a promotion, or this could be something of value to you in the way of career or professionalism. Yes? This is probably like more money. It is tax season, so some of you guys could be gearing up for that. Tax season is kind of long. This is also saying, like, if something's been offered to you and you see it as a good thing, how are you going to use this good thing that's been given to you and make it more than it is now? How are you going to branch out from here? Because this is Earth. We're talking about roots. We're talking about something that's reliable, right? And we're talking about something that you can rely on for a while here. Is it worthwhile for you is what the question you might be asking yourself before you go through with it. You know what I mean? You might be seeing there are positive and negatives here too. You know what I mean? That you might be experiencing just because you might be being critical of this new thing, this new opportunity, It's also saying don't waste time, okay? Don't waste time, whatever that means, because this is a gift that's given to you, right? And it's in the moment. It is still related to time, right? The first time, the last time. You know what I mean? It's like this time has to be different than the last time, right? And now you're trying to figure out how you're actually going to make it something different. Okay? Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you'd like to book a reading with me. Also, follow me on Instagram. I am Providence Tarot. And my personal account is NYC Kendrick. Thanks, Virgo. Hi, Libra. This is your card for the third week of January 2020. And you got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is talking about a situation that's coming in that might be intimidating you, or you might be feeling anxious to communicate with someone about something, right? Or you might be trying to plan, or you might be coming up with some kind of way to do something, to get somewhere, right? It's almost like you want to communicate almost not anxiously, but you're ready, I feel like there's some things that you kind of like want to know, right? And you're trying to figure out how something is actually going to serve you, right? Because the Knights are fire, and fire has, you know, a desire, and it's passionate about something. So you could be passionate about a new idea, right? That could be intimidating, yes, but it's almost kind of like you see yourself moving towards that idea anyway. And you might even be like, you know, burning something from the past, you know what I mean? There could be some sort of like purification, right? And coming out of that, you know? It's almost like the smoke rising from the ashes, right? Or rising from the ashes. That's like very Phoenix energy. This is Gemini, so it's a little bit of Taurus as well. So it's kind of like you're not stuck in this place, right? Anymore. You're moving forward, and even though you might be unsure about some things, you know that there might be something better, or there might be something different. You do realize that what you are sort of like walking past and moving towards is different. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like you desire that multiplicity, right? Or that being able to do many different things, you know? That might be where the intimidation factor is, deciding what to do or where to go, because it does have to do with travel, okay? And it might even have to do with work, because it's a little bit of Taurus, right? Okay, it's probably even like on the search for the ideal job, or on the search for the ideal career, or on the search for something ideal that will that you have to go towards. You have to reach out. You have to do it. You know? And that's what this intimidation is. It's kind of like, if I do it, then it'll be me, right? I will have been the one that has gotten this thing, or I will have been the one that sort of like got the ball rolling, right? Or initiated fire, movement, air, you know? But I don't want you to be intimidated. I want you to be impressed by this, you know, assertion that you're feeling, right? Because I feel like you feel connected to something that you're moving towards, and you just got to get past what is behind you, or what you're currently in, because this is Gemini. Thanks, Libra. Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you'd like to book a reading with me. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, and I am NYC Kendrick myself. Scorpio, this is your card for the third week of January. Ooh, you got the Empress. Okay, so Scorpio, you're dealing with a Libra, or you're dealing with a Taurus, or you could even be dealing with a Gemini. You could be dealing with children, what to do with the children, or you could be dealing with, like, you know, pleasantries, trying to figure out what you want, right? There's a lot of figuring here with the three. It's talking about an understanding for what you need, you know, and understanding what might even be best for you, you know, because you might be a little bit sensitive right now, right? Maybe even a little bit emotional, because there's so much going on around you, and you're trying to keep yourself together, right? You're trying to prevent this fortress that you've built around yourself, you know, you're trying to protect it, yeah? There's a sense of protecting your own mind, or your own sanity here, right? Even your own ideas. You're trying to protect those, right? Also, this has to do with, you know, not being disconnected, right? Trying to understand, trying to nurture, really wanting to know how someone else feels, or how you might be affecting them or these people, right? It's very intuitive. You know, the Empress is connected to the High Priestess. So she's trying to connect with her subconscious. She's trying to figure out what she needs by, you know, understanding the feelings, right? Because if we can understand our feelings, then we can realize and understand what we need. You know, this is also Taurus as well. You know, what are you giving back to something that you want to see thrive? You know, you're putting into something what you want to get out of it. You know, it should be beneficial for everyone, right? Not being selfish. Okay? Thank you, Scorpio. Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you'd like to book a reading with me. Also follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, and I am NYC Kendrick. Sagittarius, this is your card for the third week of January 2020. You got the Justice card, and this is number 11, right? So this is the change of perspective that information brings, okay? And this is understanding the truth about something, right? Trusting, being able to trust someone in a relationship, right? Or being able to trust a friend, or just being, trusting, right? Humble. Being a good listener as well, Sagittarius. This is what this is talking about, right? Because we do know that you like to talk, and we do know that you like to get your point across. But it's also good to be a good listener, right? Because you can get your point across probably a little bit better if you heard all the details. And the Justice card, Libra, is talking about fairness that comes from knowing the details, right? And balance that comes, harmony that comes from the details, right? You don't want to jump to conclusions here, Sagittarius, right? And sometimes you can jump to conclusions. And that's something that you probably could learn from Libra, and that's why it's sextiled with you. You know what I mean? It is talking about getting one place to another, right? Conflict resolution, start to finish, this and that, beginning and end, question and answer, that type of thing. So you do need to be a little bit more open-minded, right? Just like the scale is. See where you can be influenced in a positive way, rather than what might be being taken away from you that is different than what you are familiar with. Yeah, if that makes sense to you. Nothing's being taken away. It's just sort of like being redirected, whatever it is that you're dealing with, Sagittarius. If you'd like to book a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, and I am NYC Kendrick. And you're trying to be fair about it, about making a decision, Sag. You know what I mean? This could even be talking about traveling for a relationship, right? Because the Justice card is related to the High Priestess, which is Pisces energy, which that's where Venus is right now. Compassion. And then Pisces energy, this is also talking about movement and travel. Going from here to there, right? Don't jump to conclusions. And if you're going on vacation, have a good time. You need to probably be recalibrated or restored in your energy. And maybe you need to just take some time to yourself to rebalance things out. Thank you, Sag. Capricorn. Also, it is MLK's birthday. Martin Luther King's birthday, January 15th, Capricorn. Right? I've been to the mountaintop. You can't get more Capricorn than that. And your card for the third week of January 2020 is a Page of Cups. We're trying to understand our emotions, how we feel about something. We're learning about, how we feel, and we're learning about how our feelings are actually affecting us, Capricorn. You're like, wow, I actually do have feelings. And you're starting to kind of just like look at those feelings, allow yourself to feel them. You might even be doing it alone, right? So some of you could be getting emotional alone, right? Okay. This also talks about creativity, right? So you could be at the beginning stages of something. This could be announcing, the prospect of healing, right? So the prospect of healing from something may have come in. Maybe you were sick. Maybe you were healing from some emotional trauma or some emotional wounds from the past. This is also, trying to find someone to talk to, right? About something, about your feelings. And you're trying to understand your true feelings, right? The pages are directly related to the world, right? And, you go through these different stages of learning as you move about this world, right? In this 3D world, and it's realizing that things are affecting you in an emotional way, even if you try to hide from those emotions, right? You can't cover yourself up with things that are lavish to try to forget about how you feel, right? Thank you, Capricorn. Email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com if you'd like to book a reading with me. And also, follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, and I am NYC Kendrick. Aquarius, here is your card for the third week of January 2020. Oh, you got the Two of Swords, which is the moon in Libra. This is about, making decisions and choices over time. Or it could be, you've been thinking over time for a while about making a decision or coming to terms with making a decision, right? It could also be, being sensitive to the decisions of other people, right? Also, this is trying to determine like what it is that you want to do and not making a sacrifice based on what someone else might think that you need or might think that you want, or somebody having a better understanding of what your needs are. You know what your needs are. You know how to make this decision, right? You just know that something is going to change. You might be feeling like something might even be taken away from you when you make this decision, right? Because this is a 2, so it's related to the second house of Taurus, which is I have, and Pisces as well, which the High Priestess is number 2 major arcana, right? So this decision could mean that you're choosing something. So you'd be giving up something, sacrificing something, right? But on the other side of this situation, it could be better for you anyway, right? You don't want to have everything. You can't have it all. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices, right? And this choice is going to be that. It might even have to do with a job, right? You may not be able to hold on to a job again, right? Or hold on to a job anymore because you need to make a better choice in terms of what's going to support you financially, right? Second house, the moon, and the moon needs security, right? So, this choice that you're making is so that you can kind of like go from this place of feeling insecure to feeling more secure, right? And the Ace of Swords came up for everyone this week. So it's time for you to realize what your truth is, Aquarius, right? Make that decision, determine it. And it's so funny. I'm just realizing that my roommate is an Aquarius as I'm reading this. Totally oblivious. Anyway, this card is kind of like that. Yeah. Something that you may have been committed to just because it's the second house of Taurus, commitment, right? And it also has to do with the relationship because it's Libra. It's how a relationship is affecting you emotionally, right? And how to get out of this situation that you find yourself sort of like blinded in. You can't see, right? You don't know what your truth is because you're kind of like in 2 different places. Yeah? Because it's very like Gemini as well, being in 2 different places. There's duality here. Duplicity, right? It's a folding. So you might be feeling like you're bending or you're folding for somebody, or you're cutting yourself in half, or you might be feeling cut in half, right? And you want to feel whole again, not cut in half. Thank you, Aquarius. If you'd like to book a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram. I'm Providence Tarot, and I'm also NYC Kendrick. Pisces. This is your card for the 3rd week of January 2020. Oh, you got the Sun in Scorpio. So this is a 6 of Cups, right? This is talking about, identifying with the past, perhaps. Yeah? It's a 6, so it's talking about the Lover's energy. Understanding the meaning behind something, what it's for, what you can get out of it. And this is what you can get out of a positive attitude about the past, right? Thinking about how you can cleanse yourself of the energy from the past that may have been controlling you. Perhaps. This is also feeling very nostalgic towards the past, right? And if there's any resentment that you may have had, you still do carry some nostalgia towards that place, right? You could be dealing with a Virgo. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, or you could be dealing with a Leo, The Sun rules Leo, and Scorpio's ruler Pluto is exalted there, right? And this also talks about communicating, talking about the past, right? Because it's a 6, going back to Mercury and the Lovers, right? This is playfulness, and then there's also a lot of depth here too, right? And we're not trying to let our emotions confuse us, right? Don't let your emotions towards the nostalgia confuse you about what really is happening, what you're really meant to learn, understand, right? This new concept. This is regenerative energy. It's transformation energy for sure, This could even be feeling, you know, having a sense of beauty towards the past for some of you. This is undergoing change as well, because the sixth house talks about changes that happen in digestion, right? And also it talks about, you know, things changing from the past. You yourself might be changing, right? You could definitely be seeing where the past may have benefited you in some kind of way that you wouldn't have been able to make sense of when you were in it at the time. And that's pretty deep, Pisces. This is a Scorpio card, and you are, you know, the third water sign after Scorpio. Emotional depth is being felt. You know, what are you going to do with these feelings? You just can't stay stuck in them. You've got to adapt to your new reality, right? And you have to create a healthy understanding of what the past was meant to get you to see, feel, understand, reveal to yourself. What has the past revealed to you now? Thank you, Pisces. If you'd like to book a reading with me, email providencetarotkendrick@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, and I am also NYC Kendrick. Like, share, and subscribe, and comment.